Good morning, artists! Good afternoon, depending on where you are. I'm Miss Kim. Today we are doing a double header of Drawstrings, back-to-back episodes of Drawstrings, because Miss Kim was under the weather a little bit on Friday, so we're making that up for everybody today. Today, first off, the first game we're playing today features a great horned owl. And we are drawing a great horned owl courtesy of a young lady who's been watching the show. Her name is Ariel Gonzalez. So giving a shout out to Miss Ariel, because we're going to have a lot of fun drawing an owl today. And then I hope you stick around, because afterwards we have another show coming right at you. It's a whole entire Drawstrings day. So let's start out. Hi, John. I'm glad you're joining us. Hey, Christy. Glad you're here. Anyway, we are going to be drawing an owl for everyone just joining in today. Sorry, I got a little distracted by comments. Christy, say hi to Mel for me too. Anyway, so we are using lots of oranges and yellows and browns today for our great horned owl. I'm so happy to be here. So we have some light browns, some dark browns. Hi, Charlie. How you doing? We have our black colored pencils. We have white that, you know what, I've just decided we may or may not get to, because it just seems to be always up in the air whether or not we have time for it. So we have white on standby. We're going to move it from being an essential to being on standby. So we have some marigold, some orange, and then some light yellow for the eyes, and then more browns. So we are drawing a great horned owl. Hi, Bexley. Hi, Braxton. We are drawing a great horned owl. So let's get started. We have all our colors, which in case you just missed them, we have blacks, we have browns, we have oranges, light browns, and yellow. So let's turn this around. We also have our pencil sharpener. Let's flip this camera around, because I know you're tired of looking at me. I wish I could look at you. So we'll just start with the owl, okay? Sounds good. So today's paper, we actually have standing long ways, so more vertical as opposed to horizontal, which is how we usually draw here on Drawstrings. So if you have your piece of paper and you're used to drawing it with like the horizontal longer way, we're going to flip it and do like the skinny vertical way today. And we're starting more in the center top area of the paper. And I'm just going to go straight to the black colored pencil today. We're not going to fuss around with any brown or anything like that, at least for this show. But again, I hope you stick around, because we're doing a double header today to make up for a class that we missed on Friday, because Miss Kim wasn't feeling too well. She's back and better. So we're going to start with the left eye of the owl, okay? Which will be like a little bit on the left side of the paper. So we're about here on the paper. And the owl, it's going to have a nice little lid. And remember, these owls have big ol' eyes. So we have a nice little lid above the eye, because it's sort of obscured, covered by feathers a little bit. So we can leave this really sketchy, okay? Because this is where feathers come off the face of the owl anyway. So we're sort of drawing this little curve of a line, but we're leaving it sketchy. And then from underneath this feathery eyebrow of a line here, we're going to then draw a half circle that comes up and meets the feathers on the top and the bottom part of the eyebrow. Now, because we have done this on one side of the face, we are going to do this on the other side of the face of the owl. So we're going to scoot over just a tiny bit, which is about maybe a thumb's length. So put your thumb on the paper. Got that thumb's length, half a thumb's length. And we're going to do the exact same thing on this side. Little feather sketches up and around for an eyebrow. Very nice. And then we're going to do that half circle coming down and underneath. There we go. So we got these big yellow eyes. There we go. And then right in the center, so let's get some feathers going, right? Just little quick little feather lines like that. And then right in the center, where this sort of comes down into a triangle, we're going to start at the beak of the owl. So the beak is pointed up like this. It comes up into that triangle area in between, right in between the eyes. So it starts with a triangle, and then we're going to indent a little bit, and then we're going to, so it looks like a spear a little bit. And then we're going to come back out with it. There we go. Just like that. So it almost looks a little bit like an arrowhead, a little bit like a spearhead. There we go, right in the center of the face. Hi, Oliver. Hi, Liz. And then underneath where this spear is, we're going to do another little area of the beak to sort of encapsulate the top part of the beak. Okay, so now that we have like a general layout of the eyes and the beak of the owl, this is what we're gonna do before we get to the cool little eyeballs, the little pupils and the irises and all that. So what we're gonna do is we are going to start in the center top of each eye. And again, these are just gonna be really kind of sketchy lines. They're going to come up a little bit, just like that. And then from these lines, we're going to draw sort of a half circle around the face, around the eye there. It's going to look like your owl's wearing a mask, but it's really a mask of feathers. So come down like this, but the patterns are all different colors. There we go. And then this is going to come up underneath the eye. And then we're going to make a curved line in and connect it to the beak there on the one side. Now, because this happens on the one side of the face, do you think it happens on the other side of the face? You betcha. So let's start again here, center top part of the eye. Moved up a little bit with the feathers and come around the eyeball. Wouldn't this be cool if you had a face mask like this? Hi, Ed. Come down and around, up underneath the eye, and then we're going to start that line back down to the beak, just like we did on the other side. All right, very, very, very nice. So now that we have this general, like the first part of the mask here, we're going to do another line outside of it that we'll color in with black in a little bit, but it's a smaller line. So from here to here, there's a larger distance than from here to here. So we're starting this second line, this second frame outside of the face, and everything is going to be symmetrical. So if we're drawing this little line like this on the outside of one of the eyes, well, guess what? We're gonna be doing it on the other side. Because even though it's not perfectly symmetrical, that's how nature works a lot of the time, which I think is pretty cool. Yes, there are always exceptions to the rule, but for right now, we're drawing a very typical looking great horned owl who has these variations on each side, these feather variations. Now that we've done one frame outside the main frame, we're going to do a second frame. That's two. That is 2 frames total, so bear with me. Starting from the center top of the eye, again, that area, we're going to draw 2 little lines. These little lines are going, tee-hee, hello. And then we're going to come out and around this frame here with another shorter frame. Whoa, do you see how this is adding so much depth and structure to the face of the owl? Pretty cool, huh, guys? Everything is in the details. Okay, so this is what we have so far on the owl. Bear with me, we're going to do a few more feather structures, then we can get to coloring in. So, now that we have the outside of the face of the owl, we're going to move into the inside. They have these fluffy white eyebrows, just like this, on each side. They're like, hello, look at my white eyebrows. I am so wise, tee-hee. All right, so just like that. And then what happens is, even though these eyebrows, these feathery eyebrows, are separated by these black feather lines in the middle of the eye, we're going to keep bringing these white feathers down and follow this line here down to the nose, just like that. And then we're going to do it on the other side. Okay, nice work. So we have those white feathers framing the inside of the face down to the nose. All right, so let's go for the plumicorns. Do you guys know what the plumicorns are? I didn't know that's what they were called until I did the research. Plumicorns are the structures that look like the horns on the top of a great horned owl. It's called a great horned owl because of its plumicorns, which are actually just larger feathers on the top of the head. So let's start above this eye here again, center of the eye. Okay. John, I'm pumped up today. I'm excited to be back. All right. Right above the eye, we're going to start the first plumicorn right up over the eye, and there's 2 feathers each, okay? So bear with me. There's a primary feather and then a little bit of a secondary feather. They're sort of the same size, so we'll start right above the eye on the left side. All right. And we're going to draw a giant feather. Ooh, there we go. I'll zoom out a little bit for you. I'm sorry. I'm going to draw a big feather right above that first eye on the left, okay? And then we're going to draw a little feather behind it. And you can come out with these like little wispy lines. Wispy, wispy. We're going to come out with these little wispy lines because that's, you know, feathers kind of, if you've ever seen a feather in real life, it sort of frays at the end, doesn't it? So it's nice and neat at the tip of the feather, and then the body of the feather, we can draw little lines coming through this as well because that's where the feather separates. There we go. There we go. Just doing that real quick. So anyway, so we're drawing the line through the center of the feather to sort of separate the plumage of the feather, and then they sort of fray out at the end when they meet the face. Okay, very nice. So now that we have that, I got a little carried away with that line here. We're going to draw the top of the head of the owl, which comes up a little bit. There we go. And goes to the other side of the face. And what do you think it meets? When we get to this side of the face with the head of the owl, what do you think happens? If something's happening over here, remember, it's going to be happening over here. So we're going to stop center of the eye, right above the center of the eye. And we're going to draw some more plumicorns. Sounds like unicorns, doesn't it? Maybe owls are the unicorn of the sky. Okay. So we're going to draw another feather up here. And they don't have to look exactly the same. See, like Miss Kim's aren't even the same. This one's way taller. It's a little bit differently shaped. And that's okay, because it's nature. Symmetrical, but not perfectly symmetrical. Going to draw the little feather line to separate the plumage there. And then we're going to draw another feather right behind that one and circle it back down towards the face. All right, very nice. We are getting there, you guys. Thanks for bearing with me. So let's get to the feather. Starting on the body of the owl, we'll start underneath the beak here, and we're just going to do some like quick fun little lines underneath that sort of end at the beak. So where these pockets on the face come up, we're drawing feather lines underneath. There we go. And then we're going to start on the outside of the face here. And we're going to draw the neck. And that's going to come down, 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 down. We're going to get to the chest of the owl. And we're going to take that right off the paper. Okay, there we go. And then we have a little hint, a little inkling of this wing behind us. Okay, so we're going to start on this side of the face now. We're going to start at the top of the face by the plumicorn. And we're going to bring these lines down. This comes out a little bit before it juts back in. Very nice. And then it's going to come out like this to make room for the wing. Really, really cool. And then on the inside of the body here, we're going to draw one large wing, okay? So it's going to look like an upside down U. So we can start from the bottom of the page. And it's going to be an upside down U, because it's going to be the wing. Just like that. It's going to say inside the outer lining of the body. There we go. There's that wing of the owl. Okay, Now that we have this general owl outline, say that 3 times fast, we're going to start coloring in. So let's go back to the eyes, which are like the best part. We're going to draw little pupils inside each one, and they're going to be really small in comparison to how large that eye is. So tiny little pupil here, right? Tiny little pupil there. Very nice. And then since we're here, let's take our lighter yellow. We're going to quick color in this space. And if you don't want to smear the black, just be aware that if you go over the black part, the colored pencil, the pupil part, with the yellow, it will smear a little bit. So if you don't want it to smear, you can still move the pencil around there. And we're going to color in this other side here. There we go. And then what we're going to do, and we're going to just do this really quickly because this is the only yellow that we're using in the entire picture, because the rest are just like oranges and browns. So color those in with the light yellow, and then I have like a marigold yellow. The pencil technically says Spanish orange. It's kind of up to you, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to go around the outside of the eye and then over the top of the eye, but leave the center of the eye lighter yellow. There we go. Okay. And then we're going to do that on the other side as well. Be aware of that pupil unless you'd like it to smear, which could look all right if you want to shade it that way. Okay. There we go. All right. Good job. So because the owl is so complicated, because it has so much going on and we only have a limited amount of time, we're actually going to start with a lighter color today. We're going to start with a lighter color and sort of brush over a lot of this area. So, okay, on the outside of the owl, let's draw out on the outside of the eye. We're going to take our lighter colored pencil and draw an outline around that eye there. And then this one here, it'll help us show where not to draw in color because we'll come back to that later. Okay, and then we're also going to draw little feathers that come down to the beak here because the feathers around the beak are more of a whitish. So now that we have those lines mapped out, we're going to take this lighter orange color. It says mineral orange. And we're going to start just coloring in. Don't color in those eyebrows on top of the eye of the owl. You can if you want to, but I'm going to leave those out. We're using this light orange. There we go. And we're coloring pretty much everything on this first mask area of the face, except for where we left it white, because those will be different colored feathers, different color patterns. So all right, doing that on one side and then drawing that on the other. So let's color this in nice and pretty. Okay, so that's what we have so far. We're going to take this orange pencil. We're going to skip the first framed line here on each side of the face. We're going to skip that because that becomes black. But we're going to color the very outermost area with this orange as well. So it goes orange, blank, orange, because the blank becomes black. And they're really only one letter off from each other, so not too big of a leap, you know what I'm saying? Okay. So let's color those in. There we go, looking good. And then we can take this orange up. We can color this frayed plumage at the bottom. And then on the head here. You know what? We're going to leave this area near the eye, these feathers white, but everything else, why don't we just sort of color in right now that we're here? And I'll show you why in a minute when we go over with darker colors, but let's get this base down, okay? And if you want to make these thick, flat lines, just tilt your pencil like this, and you can make thicker lines than if you had it straight up and down against the paper, okay? Remember, that's an easy trick of the trade. So, let's color in with this lightest brown, this orangey, and we'll get up into the ears here, well, the feathers as well. These, quote, horns, if you will, because it is a great horned owl after all. And it looks like it's just mostly orange on the inner part of these feathers on top of the head. Just maybe little outlines on the others. All right. And we're going to color this in as well, this little area. All right, very nice, looking good, looking good. We're going to go to the bottom part of the face and we're going to color in where we marked off these feather areas. We're going to color in that too. Just really quickly. And I promise you this is all going to come together when we start using our darker colors as well. Now on the body, we're going to color in most of this. We're going to leave some patches white, and you can leave those patches wherever you'd like, honestly, because every owl is a little bit different. But this is mostly going to be this lighter brown, orangey color. There we go. Just coloring this in. Just kind of moving around the paper. Go inside the wing a little bit, even though the wing does look like it's darker than the rest of the body. So we'll just do some minimal coloring here. I sharpened both sides of this colored pencil. It saves time when I'm trying to work with a limited amount of time. So if your parents are comfortable with that and you would like to sharpen both sides of your pencil, please ask first. Please get permission first, but that's always a nice time saver trick. And then coming down the rest of the body here with this light orange. Phew! That was a lot of work, huh? And we still have a couple more colors. So let's get to that, shall we? Let's see if this works. Let's do a little bit of a medium brown next. And we're going to come in and we're just going to start doing these short little lines. Just beep, 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 beep. Like that. Just do, 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 do. And you can make those noises too if it helps you. Just do, 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 do. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, boop, boop. Like that. Because a great horned owl's feathers kind of remind me of Rocky Road ice cream. They're so complicated and they're like overlaid and they run into each other and they're all over the place. It's kind of hard to know where to start, right? So we started with a lighter color so that when we start in with the dark colors, we're just drawing right over where we need to draw. And you're not getting any resistance from a darker color. Because if we started with black first and then tried to put orange on top of that, with colored pencils, that doesn't really work. With other mediums that can work, like oil paints and acrylic paints, but not really colored pencils, not really markers. But again, everything that we've just colored orange, we're now low lighting. With this brown. And we can draw like a few feather specks, a few of these lines in this area as well. There we go. And just wait till you see what happens when we actually get to the black colored pencil, okay? It's going to be great. So let's get in a little bit more of these feathers here. And they're just kind of squiggly lines to show that there are feathers happening. There we go. And then we'll get to the colored pencil, the black colored pencil in a second. Again, just going over the body with these quick lines to denote feathers. before we get back to the main event, the coup de grace. And you can kind of go like, do you see I'm just doing these lines? It's like line and then skipping some and then line and then skipping some. That's actually really effective in showing the pattern of an owl. I'm going to color in this back wing a little bit here. There we go. So we're doing a squiggly brown line, skip, squiggly brown line, skip. It's kind of fun if you're like, squiggly brown line, skip down, squiggly brown line, skip down. Because it really just quickly helps you convey that there are feathers on this owl and they are in a pattern. You know, they look a little bit willy-nilly all over the place, but they look this way so that the owls can easily camouflage with their surroundings. All right, and let's color in the bulk of this wing here. There we go. Very nice, very nice. And remember, this wing is a little bit darker than the surrounding feathers. So let's get all that white area colored in. All right, this is looking so good, you guys. Now, let's get back to this black colored pencil, and it's gonna become rockin'. It's gonna be totally rock and roll. So we're gonna do a thick outline around the eye of this owl, like they have on eyeliner. There we go. We're gonna darken up around the outside of this owl eye, just like that. And then since we're over here, why not just do everything, right? So let's color in this blank line that I promised we would color in. Black colored pencil. There we go. Very nice. Let's get to this beak because the owl beak isn't white. It's kind of gray. It's kind of black. So we're doing a little bit of light gray, a little bit of black. There we go. Do you see how this is changing already? Look at the difference from one side to the other. Just with a little bit of outline, a little bit of that black colored pencil, pressing down kind of hard here around the eye. There we go. Very nice, very nice. And let's color in this blank space here that we left that I promised we would color in. All right, getting there. We're getting there, aren't we? Let's head up to the plumicorns, aka the plumage, the feathers on top of the great horned owl. It's where it gets its name because they look like horns, but really they're feathers. We're going to color in what we left white on these feathers here. There we go. Coloring there. And if this is going too fast for you or you want to take it at your own pace, honestly, this is even a little fast. This is a lot fast for how Miss Kim works normally. I do have all my videos posted on my page, front and center, if you'd like to go back. We probably have about 16, 17 episodes at this point. So if you want to make a day out of it, please feel free. Okay, so let's take this black colored pencil, draw some quick feather lines right over that black or right over that brown and orange the way that we did before. And remember, these are just quick little lines. Just like that. And then here, we're going to start on the body area and just fill in some black feather lines here as well. Up underneath the face. Up underneath the area by the nose. There we go. On this side too, because we have kind of a darker line here, this darker black feather area here, We're going to do that on this side as well. And look, like my lines are really sloppy, guys. Like they're short, they're jagged, you know, but really it conveys a point. It conveys a mood. It shows you, hey, these feathers don't have to be perfect, but because of these lines, because of these colorings, I know that they're there. And that's going to help show everybody else that they're there as well. All right. Again, just with these quick little feather lines. And you can always outline the body of the owl in black as well, which really helps it pop off this off-white colored paper. Color in this wing here, which again is a little bit darker than the rest of the owl body. And with all that, and you see how messy this is, how sloppy Miss Kim's being, but still, it conveys a point, right? So we have our owl. I would love to see your drawings. If you have any drawings you did today and you would like to share them with me or have your parents share them with me, I would love to see them. I had a lot of fun drawing this owl today, and we should get to our song. So I'm going to flip this camera around. Hi guys! I hope you had fun drawing an owl today. I know it's always a lot of information at once. So I'm so proud of everyone for sticking with the process and not giving up, because perseverance is really the best quality you can have when you're starting out learning a new task, when you're trying to figure out a task you've known for years and just make it better. You gotta persevere. Have patience, you'll get through it. I know you will, and I'm proud of you. So, we're gonna sing a song about great horned owls because that's what we just learned about today. We just drew an owl. We're gonna sing about fun facts about an owl. So, here we go. Hold on. Miss Kim's pick was in the guitar. That's better. When I'm hunting, my fluffy feathers keep me silent. When I'm hunting, my fluffy feathers keep me silent. My wings are so wide, from 3 to 6 feet across. My color varies by location, designed to be camouflage. I can fly as fast as 40 miles an hour. I have giant yellow eyes, it's true. And if you wanna know what's creepy, my eyeballs never move. When I'm hunting, my fluffy feathers keep me silent. When I'm hunting, my fluffy feathers keep me silent. Great horns are made for life and can fly at 12 wings, yeah. When I catch a meal, I use my sharp tail and teeth. I can carry large animals much heavier than me. I can also turn my head 270 degrees. When I'm hunting, my fluffy feathers keep me silent. Oh, when I'm hunting, My fluffy feathers keep me silent. I am great, I am horned, yeah, I am an owl. My horns are really plumicorns, but yeah, I'm still an owl. When I'm hunting, my fluffy feathers keep me silent. Oh. When I'm hunting, my fluffy feathers keep me silent. Thank you guys. I'll see you in a minute for take 2.